Sorry I've made you guys wait so long for more OC reviews. Because of the long wait, I actually picked 2 OCs from the last video I posted to do. The review for the next OC should be up within a few minutes of this one. If you want me to review your OCs, please check out that video and leave your comments there instead of here. As always, the template you'll have to fill out will be in the description. Hello everyone, welcome back to OC Reviews. Today's OC is named Briarclaw. She's a she-cat who's 50 moons old and resides with ThunderClan. She's a senior warrior who's described as a tall cat with a wiry build. Her fur is on the fluffier side, but not to the point of making her appear any larger than she actually is. She's a muted tortoiseshell, covered mostly in a pale gray-brown, paired with a subtle golden color. Her nose is mostly black, however part of the skin turns into a more tan color. Towards the tops of her inner ears, long thin fur sticks and curls out. Her eyes are almond-shaped, with a forest green shade to them. Everything seems okay so far. Her personality reads, "The first word that comes to mind when describing Briarclaw is harsh. She has little room for niceties in her life and doesn't take kindly to messing around. However, these don't make her a bad cat, and on the contrary, she cares a great deal about her clanmates. The way she sees it, she gives the clan her all, and expects others to do the same. She sticks incredibly close to the warrior code, being a warrior cat through and through. Tom's looking for a kinder, sweeter side of the she-cat, or fated to be sorely let down. Briarclaw is not a soft cat by any means. She has no interest in romance, and while she respects the queen, she has no desire to head to the nursery herself. Briarclaw's biggest flaw is that she can often run herself ragged. She holds herself to very high standards, and for anyone that can sometimes be too much. But what about just basic compassion? I'm not saying she needs to have compassion, or a complete lack of it, but if she's as harsh or as serious-minded as she's made out to be, it might also be a pretty serious weakness of hers, and one that might be interesting to explore. I know that she cares for her clanmates, but that doesn't mean she has to have the ability to read other people's emotions. Maybe she cares, but is always the last one to notice when someone else is upset, or even realize that acting a certain way or saying certain things would upset others. It's not a requirement, just something to think about. Her backstory says that Briarclaw was born the only kit to the former ThunderClan deputy, Sandcloud, and his mate Spotwing. While in the nursery, Briarkit idolized her father to the point of often following him around the camp. Her mother was a rather strict queen that often emphasized that Briarkit should be spending her days preparing to be an apprentice. Not being a particularly rebellious kid, she listened to her mother, forming the very start of her serious nature. Much to her pleasure, Sandcloud became her mentor when she was 6 moons old. That would be very rare. Typically, your mentor wouldn't be directly related to you. Even Fireheart was only a mentor to Cloudtail because the rest of the clan still had a bias against kitty pets. You could have her father be leader and her deputy be someone else, or her mentor just be an ordinary warrior, with her father teaching her extra stuff on the side. It continues. Her father instilled the values of the warrior code very deeply, and Briarpaw respected her mentor as being a talented deputy who held his clan well. She kept rather isolated from the other apprentices, focusing all her time on training, doing her duties, and using what little free time she had to spend with Sandcloud. Unfortunately, not everything could ever stay perfect. At the end of her apprenticeship came a battle against WindClan that was to be considered her assessment. She had done well in battle, however serious injuries kept Briarpaw and Sandcloud stuck in the medicine den for a little longer before she could receive her name. She had fallen asleep as Sandcloud's injuries were tended to first, being more severe than hers, but when she woke up, she received the awful news. Her father and mentor had died. Still grieving, she recovered enough to receive her warrior name, Briarclaw for her fierceness in battle. She became a fairly successful warrior and has mentored a couple of cats herself. She has a reputation for being a cat kids feared to have as a mentor at first, but those who have gotten to know her know that she is a cat that can push another to greatness. I have to say, this is a pretty solid backstory. I think you could also try to develop how her father's death affected her a bit more, since it seemed that during her apprenticeship, she never had time to form other relationships with anyone else in the clan. If she was only close to her father, his death would have left a really big gap in her life. Even if she's not interested in romance, I think she wants the compassion of another being. But maybe her overly serious attitude will prevent her from doing that. It's simple enough for me to imagine you being able to fit it into more or less any long-term roleplay, and it would also make your interactions a lot more interesting, I think. Overall, this is one of the better OCs I've seen. It could still use a little more development, I think, but what you have so far is not bad at all. Congratulations!